Good morning, boys and girls. It's your favourite grumpy granny from Groggy's Patch here. What do you think of my new hairstyle? I thought I'd try some new looks before I go thrifting with that spunky young Brad from Diary of a Flipper. What do you think of this look? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, during Chris Furlong's live stream last night, I did say that I would show you all how I do my book skewing. So here we go. Let's get into it. Here is where my book starts. So this is the first bookcase that I started with. So it's bookcase A, and then this over here, they're not in order because I did them at different times. This is the second bookcase that I started. These are all for my listed books. So that's bookcase B, and then we have bookcase C, and so on. So how does my skewing system work? Well, it's fairly simple. I tried lots of different ways of skewing the books, and lots of different ways of putting them to try and get the most value out of squeezing in as many books on the shelves as I can. One of the things you can't do is do it in a numerical type of thing and just keep putting the books that you've listed one after the other, because you're going to have all different size books. How much space you would lose if, for example, you had this size book and then the next book you do is this size. You're going to finish up bending the books and losing so much space. So how I do it, I put similar size books in similar size rows. This here is bookcase C, and this is shelf C1. So this is C1, this is row 1, 2, 3. And how I do it, because I can fit 3 to 4 rows of books on this shelf, I number them as C1, and then I've got back, middle, front. So that's B, M, F. And so on. Same here. This particular shelf, I can only fit 2 rows on. So for example, this one would be A2, row 2, back and front. And that's how I do it. And I'll show you now how I put those into the computer. I do the same thing with my DVDs. I don't have a shelf number for it, but that's the DVDs. And so shelf 1, row 1, 2, 3, and so on. And over here, I have bundles. I do it the same, but with one little difference, which I'll show you after I've put the things into the computer. And I also do the same thing for my VHS over there. So that's bookcase D. These 5 books here that I'm about to skew and put up on the shelf. So I'll show you what I do. Let's get onto the computer now. And I'm going to start with the smaller books that I have showing you. I just go into the custom skew, and I usually just do it from here, and then on the end of this I just add the details. So I put a hashtag in front of it because it makes it easier, because in the past I've added in where the item came from, how much it cost, and the date I listed it in my custom skew label. Now that I've got Chris Furlong and Ethan Rushock's new reseller spreadsheet, I won't need to do that anymore, so that will actually go. But I'll just leave it there for now in case I haven't actually entered that one into the spreadsheet yet. So I do a hashtag, and then these ones are going on shelf C1 in row 2 at the back. So that's pretty easy. And then what I'll generally do to do the others, copy, and then I'll submit that. And then this one, I can just go in and paste that one in there as well. And then the other one is this. And then I've got these couple of bigger books that are going in the next row. So I can copy and paste that. So they're going on shelf C1, row 3, and again at the back. So I just need to change that and this one as well. The beauty of doing it this way is that when you've got different size books that are going in different places, you can just put them wherever they need to go to fit. The other thing is that when you've taken books out that you've sold, you're going to have gaps, but you don't want to shift the books around because otherwise you'll lose the skew of where they are. But you can add new books in there and just use the same system of putting your bookcase number, your shelf number, your row number, and whether it's back, front or middle. So it's fairly easy and it works really, really well. Now I do want to say with the books, I have tried lots of different ways of storing them upright. I started off putting them by author, but once you get over a certain amount of books, it's just impossible to keep doing it that way. You need to be able to put any book anywhere at any time. but you also need to know where it is. And since I've been doing this, sometimes I would spend 20-30 minutes looking for one particular book. Now it takes me literally seconds to find that book. You know, it might take 20 seconds if it's at the back, because then I have to lift the front ones off. So I always have somewhere where I can put that front row. So they go on this bit down here in the front of those larger books, and then I can find what I need at the back. Just makes it so quick and so easy. I don't have to put any stickers or marks on the books themselves. I just know where they are. The other thing is, when it comes to the bundles, I do those the same. So this is my bookshelf E, as you can see there, shelf E1, shelf E2, but you can see these have all got big numbers on it. I still skew it and say that bundle there that's numbered 183 is on shelf E1, row 1 at the front, so it's an F, but then I also put .183 so that I know that that's bundle 183. There's two reasons for that. Sometimes you've got bundles of similar books, as in these ones here, 135 is romance books, and they've all got a red cover, and if you look down here, this one here, 136, is very similar looking, and that keeps them separate so I know which one's which. It also means that when you come to look for that bundle, it's very easy to quickly find it. It doesn't matter what number, and they don't need to be in order, but if they just make them big so that you can quickly see them. Over here I have one of my bigger rows for really large books over there, and I will show you. Over here I have some bigger books on this shelf here, so there's only one row there, so I don't need to put back, front or middle because they're too big, and the same with down here, and all along this bottom shelf are all the really big books, so they don't need to have a front or a middle, but that's row 1, that's row 2, and then that's row 3. And I will show you this little trolley. If you're a bookseller, well, and anything seller really, this little trolley is the most amazing little thing. I can put my books on it for sorting. As you can see there, I've got a heap of youth fiction that I have all sorted, ready to list on there. Under here, in this pile here, I've got some books that when I was comping them, I realised they need to go into bundles, so I've put those there. And then here I've got some jeans that I have to list. So quite handy. And then down the bottom, a bit hard to see, but I have got a bundle. That's where my bundles go before I actually find a spot on the shelf for those. There is one other thing that I would suggest to you. This is from my experience in skewing and listing lots of books and then just putting them on the floor out of the way so that I can skew them later. I would suggest that you do something like this, as I've done down here. I have this box here, and after I've listed books, that's where they go. If I know that it's listed but I haven't skewed it, it's going to be in that one spot. Instead of, in the past, I'd put a pile on the floor and then I'd go and buy some more books and they'd somehow finish up next to it, and so then you get all confused again. So that's just a little suggestion that I do have.